For folks who are watching this on Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, rudyblairmedia.com, these two are like family to me. They just clicked on. I did not want to do any kind of before conversation with them. I wanted it all recorded. I miss you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we miss you too. This is as soon as I saw your name on our email, I was like, Rudy Blair. There's so
Yeah.
much about you that uh I just think of like it's very nostalgic, let's just say. Like some
Yeah.
of our
Yeah.
biggest,
Yeah.
funnest moments as a starting band, you were there cheering us on, so it's very cool to see you.
Yeah.
And still cheering you both on. I was trying to remember. I think the last time I saw you guys was when I was hosting at Lemon Stage. Actually, I saw you. Um, and you said she was up on the balcony because we were at the Alma Combo, and I was
Yeah.
hosting there. And it just blew my mind to see you guys were there. It was so great for you guys to be there. But man, like I said, I miss you guys. I always loved your energy. I loved what you guys brought to the table and still do. What is the magic, not just between the two of you, but the magic with the music that you create? Because you guys don't worry about trends, you don't worry about who's supposedly on top. You just do what you love and it works.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a huge compliment.
thank you,
That
Rudy.
means a lot. Yeah, we yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you can say about the music. Maybe just because we're on a journey and we're just trying to go forward and trying to look forward what the next thing is for us and our own personal journey, and every record feels like a new challenge to not do what you've done and to grow. And so it's kind of interesting because every record it's like it's just a fascinating process.
We think about the trends and that stuff. I think you can't not. But then in the same breath, we just are who we are, and we're taking what we learned and we're using that to grow and develop over here. And yeah, so this next record is like the rockier version of Dear Rouge, which like we haven't tapped into in a bit. So maybe that's like because Dear Rouge straddles pop rock, we can kind of play with the genre a little bit more and keep it fresh for our fans and for us too.
I remember one of the first questions I asked in one of our first interviews, probably the first interview. And you probably have gotten this 1,000 times, but I can go a little further with this. How do you guys grow as a relationship and also grow with music? Because as we all know, when it comes to duos or groups, everything changes. And when you have a relationship, those
Right.
changes can sometimes be extremely tough when you're trying to create music. How have you guys progressed in both of those situations?
That's a good question.
Which one you want to take? Relationship or music?
I just think when you're talking, my gut feeling is that we've just learned to lean into it, um, lean to each other and lean into the music. If we're if we're going through something personally, life is all over the place. It's a wild adventure, and we've kind of learned to just lean into that. We tend to write where we're present and we are what we are, so we kind of just embrace that part of the journey.
I think like one thing that Drew and I just are good friends. So I think at the end of the day, that helps us through a lot of things relationally. Don't yawn, Drew. This is early morning for us over
Yeah.
here. I'm like, Drew, you gotta give some more energy to Rudy.
Sorry.
That's okay. But no, it's interesting though, because like, how do you keep it in the studio and not take it home and then vice versa?
It
Because,
doesn't. There's no way. There's no way
There's
you
no way.
can't. Drew drives me nuts sometimes, especially lately.
Yeah.
Because we have a baby now, so it's another
ah,
level of thank you, Rudy. Yeah, so it's another level of working together. But I think that there's so many times where we just I think now more than ever we're like divide and conquer because if you can trust each other individually, then when you come together, there's more of a collective like, okay, I get what you're trying to do. And I think being a good communicator is being a good listener. So as we've gotten a little older in this industry, I hope that we're learning how to listen better to our music, to our fans, to each other, um, to you, Rudy.
Yeah.
But just to have a good I've been really motivated by the idea that music is a service. It's
Right.
not a ego like build me up, even though it is. A lot of artists have to have an ego in some way or another. At
Yes.
the end of the day, if there's no this is something for you to take and make your own, then it just doesn't work. And we're just trying to learn that like vulnerability, listening, serving our fans is a way to succeed if you want a career in music.
Mm.
And if you want to be happy in it too, it gives you a lot of purpose when you see it like that.
Okay, then how do you add in that third spectrum, which you just mentioned? And I said, congratulations on being parents. How does that affect what we just talked about?
We have no idea. We, there's our pal in Vancouver. He said Dan Mangan. He gave his baby advice, and he said, if it's good, wait 2 weeks. If it's bad, wait 2 weeks. They're changing every 2 weeks, so you can't really get any systems except for kind of ride the wave.
I think we'll have a lot of really cool content for writing songs. I think that's going to be really cool. We have like so many family members that are obsessed with our baby, so we've already made plans to like add another tour member and like full-time nanny vibes.
I'm also crazy optimistic that we will be super productive in the time that we have because we're managing it a little bit differently. Whereas when it was just Danielle and I, we could be like, you know, taking liberties of what our day looked like. And now we have to actually just go, okay, so if you have a couple hours here,
Be
or
effective.
if Danny has a day in the studio, she's like, man, I'm excited to be here. I get this opportunity to be here. And I'm optimistic that we're going to create some of our best stuff yet.
But does that mean, I mean, Maestro did it, Walk Off the Earth did it. Does that mean you guys might do a children's album maybe in the future now that you're experiencing this part of life?
Never say
No,
never.
I actually just last night I was with a friend of mine and I've been in this like journey of writing like a chapter book, a kid's chapter book, but it's like grade 7 to 12, so that's a bit or sorry, 7-year-olds to 12-year-olds. So I think that's a bit of a ways away, but who knows? You just don't know what the creative juices will lead you to.
Side note though is the book is called Moon Show and it's about a kid who doesn't fit in and he gets taken to space to be a rock star on the moon.
Oh,
So cool.
I'll send you.
Why do I feel animation is going to be part of this? Because this sounds like it should be like a
Right?
either a series or a
Yeah.
just feature cartoon.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
think it'd be really fun. It's been like a cool exploration thing, and it's taken me so long. Because you know how you get ideas, and this is for music too, back to music, and you somehow think that they're not for you, but then they just won't leave you alone until you realize that they are yours to follow through on, or like an idea for a song or whatever. I find that so interesting. You end up like it almost is like the idea is latching to you and not the other way around.
Right.
It's like you are the conduit for the thing that needs to happen through your brain and through your body and your vibe. So I find that really cool about creativity. It's almost like you just have to stand there and be open, and your mind has to be ready to receive.
And that's a perfect example because that was like years ago when Danny just had a dream and you followed it to do kids work. So
right.
It's kind of we're learning more with it with our music is to like take opportunities into that inspiration and connect to it when the idea hits.
Lean into it.
Yeah, lean in.
Now you guys are Juno Award winners. What year was it? Breakthrough Artist of the Year. What year was that?
I think it was
2015 or 2016.
Yeah, between 2015 and 2017.
Okay, so during that time, and we're talking about the late 2000s, early 2010s, the music industry was in such a rumble because of Napster was still kind of in its midst. Artists were there were artists who were being famous, but we all know they didn't have their instruments plugged in or weren't doing the right things. Record companies were buying out other record companies. How did you guys survive that turmoil when it was all over the place and even top 40 was changing and it wasn't really top 40? So we had to go to other means into being able to hear artists like yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been crazy since we've been a band, since we started as a band till now. And it seems like it's just changing even quicker
Massive change.
nowadays. And what bands are supposed to do, what our day looks like. When we started as a band, you could be mysterious, and now you have to be like upfront, and socials dictate everything.
Oh,
So it is we've been talking about this lately because there are a lot of changes. There's a lot of stuff that you don't want to do necessarily, but you just have to build a new habit in what the new landscape looks like, and you have to be on your toes. And sometimes Danny and I've seen like a lot of great artists lose a little steam, not be able to adapt, and they haven't been able to keep their career. And it kind of in not 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 in a bad way, but their story kind of inspires us to keep pushing forward because we don't know what the other side's going to look like. And if you have this hopeful optimism, maybe you could be like the Beaches we're pals with, and they just blew up from a TikTok video, and you hear that all the time, and it kind of drives you nuts as a band. But when it happens to you, it's like that's
That'd be awesome.
it's spectacular. And so I think it's
Mhm.
kind of like being on your toes, and being hopeful, even though the changes kind of sometimes look really dire.
It's
yeah,
pretty
but
freaky though, like how much people have put into TikTok and then they take all the music off TikTok or they decide that it's not safe or something and you're like, but that's my only way of telling my fans what's going on. Like
Right.
it's really scary because you can build up so much. And then what I think it's doing is it's breeding a lot of insecurity because you can really like if that platform gets taken away from you, like what do you have?
Yeah.
And it's almost like the branding will go away, the if you haven't built like true authentic community around your thing, then I'd be curious to know like what it's
I
gonna
think
be.
I think that's a huge takeaway. Not to make this too much longer, but the a fan is a fan, and
yes.
I like to think that a fan is short for fanatic. And if you're not giving them enough to be fanatic about you, then these are just the means. TikTok and streaming and everything that's changed in the industry. It's just another means, but it doesn't change what the main thing we do is. And I think that's where it's like gets kind
Gotta
of
be careful. It's getting a little cloudy, but yeah, I think we've been in a like season of time that's been like chaos. It's almost like a huge wave
yeah.
came in from the ocean, and everyone's like, "This is our chance." It's like millions of people can surf this wave, and like
And the wave fizzled out.
eventually the wave has to come down, like, or there's gonna be like repercussions for the wave, like someone will be surfing and then just get plowed and die.
What never gets plowed or dies is you guys making great music. And that's one of the big reasons why we're talking. New single. What is
Yes.
the new single called and how does it represent you guys today in your careers?
Well, the season is called Goon, and we put Go On together and just made it Goon because that's basically the song is about people or situations or a mindset or
Monsters.
monsters in your mind, whatever you want to say, continually popping up, which like we all struggle with in one way or another. But the actual story around it was me and my friend were in Paris and it was midnight and we decided to rent those little scooters that you can rip around town.
Yeah.
And we ended up at these amazing places, the Eiffel Tower, all the things that you'd want to see in Paris. No one's out. We're like, this is incredible. And we end up at like a bar just to finish off the night. And these two dudes just would not go away. They were the most annoying, loud, drunk, whatever, you name it, following us around, and we were like, this is so obnoxious, to the point where I like turned around and I was like, go away, like we don't like you, we don't want you here, whatever. And it just, the light bulb of like, oh, that's kind of a fun idea of like, I'm gonna use this as ammunition kind of thing to write a song. So got back, wrote the song with Drew, and we went into the studio, and it was such a vibe. And I was thinking about other characters in my story that I would associate to this idea. And I was walking down the street of Ossington, and sure enough, this person in my story that I considered to be a goon, as you'd call it.
She ran into her life goon.
My life goon, not just like the French goon, the the Paris goon. I ran into my life goon on the street, and I just walked past. You know how you have those moving moments where you're like, you haven't seen the person in 20 years, recording the song that I would say is like a really great association to this. And I just burst out laughing, and I just thought, this is so, how is this happening? How random. And I just thought, this is such a perfect story for exactly what this song is about. So it's an energetic tune. It's a kind of like kick the door down tune. It's easy to sing along with. It's a crowd kind of participation.
Be fun to play at festivals.
Yeah, it's just like, I like Dear Rouge is always like using what our pain was to make it into a dance track, and I think that's maybe like an energy, a drawing energy to our music. So this is exactly that. It's super fun.
That's the full answer.
Yeah. That's the elevator pitch of the song, but
elevator, that's a long elevator.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to add on that too, is there going to be an EP and album to follow?
Oh yeah, 100%. Nowadays, artists are releasing a little bit more singles coming out, and just stay along our journey, because we're going to be releasing new music, and with that, we're going to give the album and the track list. And this next album is going to be insane. So maybe we'll catch up when there's more details to share. But yeah, lead single off our new album.
And in the meantime, as this single is being released, Goon, during JUNO season, any advice that you want to give to any of the first-time JUNO nominees who are going through everything that you guys went through a couple of years ago and getting a nomination, the press, the heading to the city, the red carpets, you know where I'm going at, and then even winning and then dealing with that?
Yeah.
Any advice?
Don't sleep. Go hang out with everybody. The whole Canadian music industry is in one spot, and some people can be pessimistic about it, but all these people, like, with you, Rudy, we've met through press, but we see you all the time, and it's such a warm welcome. And sometimes that stuff for new artists can be really overwhelming, but then you do it a couple times and you realize, I'm seeing the same people, and it's awesome, and it's really fun. If you see someone in the lobby from another band or the industry, go have a drink with them. They're all there for the same reason, and it's sweet that the new nominees are there, because it's a fun ride, and we enjoy it every time we get to hang out with everyone else, because it's all your peers. We're at home in a studio writing an album by ourselves, and then you get to go hang out with everyone. So lean into it, don't sleep, have fun.
I like that answer.
I like that answer too. Look, I'm gonna let you folks go, because you got music, you got kids to take care of, you got a whole lot going on. Look, big love to you guys. Love talking to you. Congratulations on the new single. Looking forward to new music, and looking forward to being in the audience when you guys are performing. Cannot wait for that. All the love for you guys, and hopefully get to see you soon. Big love.
You too, Rudy.
Thanks,
Thanks
Rudy.
for all the support. Keep it up.